She was born on July 1st, 1961, and for an entire week she had no name. Her parents, John Spencer and Frances Roche, had wanted a boy. They'd been so certain it would be a boy that they hadn't bothered choosing a girl's name. So for 7 days, the baby who would one day become the most famous woman on earth was simply the Spencer daughter. Another one, the third girl, a disappointment before she could even open her eyes. They named her Diana Frances, eventually. She was born at Park House, Sandringham, not some modest family home, but a 10-bedroom mansion on the edge of the royal estate, leased from the Queen herself. The Spencers were old aristocracy, older in some ways than the Windsors. They had served the crown for generations. Diana's maternal grandmother, Ruth Roche, Lady Fermoy, was a lady-in-waiting to the Queen Mother, a woman of the inner circle. But titles and estates don't make a childhood, and Diana's childhood was, by her own account, miserable. Very unhappy, she said later, very unstable, the whole thing. The instability had a source. Her parents' marriage was falling apart. John Spencer wanted an heir, a son, and Frances had given him 3 daughters. When a son, John, was finally born, he died within 10 hours. The pressure for a male heir had poisoned everything. Diana arrived into a household already fractured by grief, expectation, and resentment. When Diana was 6, her mother fell in love with another man, Peter Shand Kidd. Frances left the family home. What followed was one of the ugliest custody battles in British aristocratic history, and it contained a betrayal so extraordinary it shaped Diana for the rest of her life. Frances Roche's own mother, Diana's grandmother, Lady Fermoy, testified against her daughter in court. She stood before a judge and helped John Spencer win custody of the children. A grandmother choosing the family name, the Spencer reputation, over her own daughter's right to raise her kids. Frances lost. She lost her children. Diana was 7 years old. Think about that. A little girl watches her mother leave, then learns that her own grandmother helped make it happen. Diana would carry that wound, the abandonment, the betrayal, the sense that love was conditional and could be revoked for the rest of her life. Her father remarried in 1976. His new wife was Rain, Countess of Dartmouth, the daughter of romance novelist Barbara Cartland. Diana despised her. She called Rain a bully. The relationship was so hostile that Diana, according to multiple accounts, once pushed her stepmother down the stairs. This wasn't a docile girl. This was a girl with fury inside her and nowhere safe to put it. School offered no escape. Diana was sent to boarding school. First Riddlesworth Hall, then West Heath in Kent. She was popular, kind, good with younger children. Academically, she struggled. She sat her O-level exams and failed. She sat them again, failed again. She left school at 16 with no qualifications. There was no grand plan, no trajectory toward greatness. Diana Spencer was a young woman from an old family with a broken home, no academic credentials, and no particular ambition beyond wanting to be loved. She moved to London. Her mother bought her a flat at Coleherne Court in Earl's Court as an 18th birthday present. She shared it with 3 friends. She got a job as a nursery teacher's assistant at the Young England School in Pimlico. She looked after other people's children. She was 19, shy, sweet, a little lost. She drove a small car and cleaned her own flat and earned £50 a week. She was, by every measure, an ordinary young woman leading an ordinary life. And yet her teachers at West Heath had noticed something that the exam results didn't capture. Diana had an extraordinary gift for human connection. She was drawn to people who were suffering. She visited elderly residents at a nearby care home without being asked. She helped younger students who were struggling. One teacher wrote that she had an outstanding community spirit. She couldn't pass an exam to save her life, but she could walk into a room full of strangers and make every one of them feel seen. That gift would one day change the world. But in 1979, in a small flat in Earl's Court, it just made her very good at her job. In November 1977, Diana had first met Prince Charles. She was 16. He was 29. He had come to Althorpe, the Spencer estate, for a shooting weekend. Not for Diana, but because he was dating her older sister, Sarah. Charles and Sarah didn't last. Sarah talked to the press about the relationship, a cardinal sin in royal circles. It ended, but the connection between the Spencers and the Prince of Wales had been made. and someone remembered the younger sister, the quiet one, the one who blushed. In the summer of 1980, they met again. Diana was invited to a gathering at a mutual friend's home. Charles was there. Something shifted. He was 31, under enormous pressure from the palace to marry, and running out of suitable candidates. The requirements were specific and largely unspoken. She had to be from the right family, she had to be young, she had to have no romantic past that the tabloids could exploit. She had to be, in the language of the establishment, suitable. Diana was invited to Balmoral that summer. She was received warmly by the Queen Mother, by Prince Philip. She passed every test she didn't know she was taking. She was 19 years old. She had failed her exams twice, lost her mother at 7, been raised in a broken home, and spent her days looking after toddlers in Pimlico. She had no idea what she was walking into. No one warned her. No one prepared her. No one told her that the institution she was about to enter had crushed stronger people than her. A shy teenager had caught the eye of a 32-year-old prince. He'd been looking for a wife. She fit the criteria, and that, fitting the criteria, was the closest thing to love she was ever going to get from him. Next time, he proposed at Windsor Castle. She said yes. At the press conference, a reporter asked if they were in love. Diana said yes. Charles said something else entirely.